Here it is, May 5th, day after Star Wars Day, May 4th. A little bit late for this broadcast because kid is giving me trouble. Tech news. Let's see. I don't think anything exciting. First of all, Intel launched Skylake R or Skylake-R Core i7 i5 CPU with Iris Pro and graphic and 128 megabyte of ERAM. ERAM. I don't know why they didn't make a big announcement out of it, or at the IDF that was in China 2 weeks ago. But I don't think they even think that after the layoff of 11,000 people, I don't think they are pushing to the desktop or laptop segment. Internet of Things is their focus, and coincidentally, it is also the focus of Microsoft, as they announced with their acquisition of a new company. That's sort of also into that space. Second news is video games. Far Harbor, the DLC for Far Out 4, is going to be the largest expansion pack that the publisher company, I don't know if I can say it, Bethesda, ever released it. So that's very exciting. It's going to be $25. But I hope you guys who plays Fallout 4 did purchase the season pass before the price went up. I think I bought it when the season pass was $29.99, and I got a coupon, so the total price for that was $24.99, which is fantastic. I don't know why I'm playing things. Let's see what else. Video games. Next week is going to be the release day for the what's the Nathan Drake? Let's see. That got really high review. My brain is fried and I cannot think. Let's see if I can look it up real time. Sorry, super loud keyboard. Uncharted 4. Yes. That one on Metacritic got 92 points, which is super high. I think it's one of the highest ones this year. So I'll definitely get that on PS4. I haven't figured out how to do a PS4 streaming yet. I think you need to purchase additional equipment, but don't have any plan to do that. So I probably just get the video games and give it a try. Other than that, I don't think there's any new major announcements. Additional data leaks. I think they found more username, email address, and password out of Gmail and Yahoo. So change your passwords often and use complicated passwords. Other than that, I don't have anything. I just go straight to beef jerky and unboxing. I got a new keyboard. I'll show you the keyboards. Tell you why I decided to go with that one. So this is I think it's I don't know if you can see the logo. It's Old Wisconsin Fast Fuel. This is a beef. I figured out lower lighting this will actually pick up better, but I guess it's not. This is beef, and the prints are too small. I cannot read the nutrition factor to figure out how much carb it has, but we'll see. And it's a sort of like a Slim Jim styled so style is more like Slim Jim, but it's not as sour, and the meat is better. Slim Jim, one of the jokes I would have for it is like mechanically separated chicken. I don't even know how they do that. Probably this YouTube video show you how they mechanically separate chicken, but Slim Jim feels like more filler, more fluffy. This feels like a tighter texture, it's meatier, and has a stronger smoky flavor and less vinegary flavor. That's the best I can describe it. It's actually quite good. Not spicy, but pretty good. I don't know why they call it fast fuel. I hope it's not caffeinated or anything. I'm actually gonna finish it later. So, keyboard again. One of the videos I got was about Razer. Razer Black Widow Ultimate 2014 edition compared to the Logitech G710. I made a mistake with the switches. The Razer I have right now is the Black Widow Ultimate 2014. Uses the Cherry MX Blue switch. They're right here. They're green color. They're not the Chroma version. And they take quite a lot of desk space. I mean, same amount of space as a standard keyboard. And the keyboard I was comparing to was the Logitech G710, which had a Cherry MX Brown. Personally, I really like the clicky of the Cherry MX Blue keys to get the color straight. Razer no longer use the Cherry MX Blue. They are started manufacturing their own switches, and this is a Black Widow Tournament Edition Chroma. So Tournament Edition doesn't have the number key. So I'm hoping this will reduce the footprint on my desk. My old Razer still works after, you know, almost coming up 3 years now. But this one, better color option. So I'm planning on basically customize the color profile. So when I'm typing whatever, I will light up the letters in a different key color profile than the rest of the keys. And when I play video games, the WASD for FPS and stuff. This might not be a keeper because I'm trying it out. There's another one called Poker. I think it's made by a company called Vortex. They're coming out with a 60% key. So essentially is, if you look at the Razer, try to get rid of the glare. The Razer Tournament Edition doesn't have the number pad on this side. The other one doesn't even have these. Basically directional keys, page up, page down. It basically costs 60%. It just have from here to here. That will even save more space because I don't find myself using those keys very often. You could use those because you use the function keys and stuff. And you can find one. They still have a Poker, spelled POK3R. Poker. They do have different switches. You can find one that use Cherry MX Blue, except the current version they have all uses white backlighting. There is an RGB version coming out, slated for release end of May. So if this guy does not work out, if I find it's still taking up too much space, I'm going to return this and get that one. The only difference is that this one is available at local Best Buy, so make it returning a lot easier compared to Poker. You have to get at mechanicalkeyboards.com, which is online. Every time I deal with that, I hated it, the return shipping part. So let's get started with the unboxing. And Razer, I just list this, actually makes it easy to open these. They have these tabs because instead of using scissors, you can just have a little pull tab. Just say pull here, and you can pull them to, I think, yeah, maybe and so that's neat. And I had a hard time deciding between this and the new X model. The new X model essentially is the same thing with the metal top panel removed, so you have a more exposed key look. Opening up, get a little letter majigger with the Razer printed in plastic. This is a very futuristic. When you watch sci-fi movies, they always have paper, but instead of using paper, it's some sort of plastic film material. And keyboard comes in this carry case. I will not be using the carrying case. The X model, the Model X or the X version, whatever you want to call it, doesn't have this carrying case, which to me is actually a benefit because I don't know where to store these or throw them away or what. And they have these green tabs. So this is basically you bring them to go to your LAN party. I don't know if people still do that. Oh, so to tell the difference between top and bottom, there's a little shiny little Razer logo. It's not embossed, it's just a little sticker. And open up, you have the keyboard. Let's get the keyboard out. This is a very nice case. Oh yeah, significantly less. Much smaller. And so to me, two benefits, right? One is smaller in terms of width, so that I can have more desk space for my pen stuff, fountain pen. You don't want to spill that. And the colors, RGB color instead of just static green, and they're individually backlit on the key, so you can create different profiles for different purpose. And detachable keyboard. So now when I actually want to do a lot of writing, I can just detach the keyboard and put the keyboard somewhere else and reattach it when I'm done. Overall, it's... And the only difference, I hope, it uses the Razer green switch. Let me see if we can hear the difference. I can hear the difference. They're much quieter. Here, I'll put the microphone about equal distance. I hope this is non-scientific. Actually, it's very similar. I say it's very similar. I don't know what's going on with the. I don't know what's going on with the but it's the material, everything, it's nearly identical. The font, the keyboard font, it's the same key size, same key spacing, the same. It's just smaller, and it doesn't have the macro key, and it's just everything's very compact. So I'll give this. I think I have 2 weeks, so I'll give it this try for 2 weeks. If I don't like it, this one's going back, and I'm gonna order the poker ones. It still wobbles, and it's a different part. I wonder if it's my desk now. Maybe one of you were right that my desk is not flat, because this is the second tournament edition that wobbles. I'm trying to figure out the wobble. So with the legs up, it does not wobble. With the legs down, it wobbles, identical to the other one. Here, I don't think it's my desk. I'll try to show. Yeah, it's a slight wobble. I wonder if I can fix it with some sort of tape. It's just like so slightly. And I'm gonna try a different part of the. Nope, it's the same wobbling. Try to find this. I wonder why it wobbles. Anyways, yeah, that's I might go buy another 10 keyless version from another brand just to try it. I don't know why it will keep on wobbling. It's twisted. I wish there's a machine that can test out the wobbliness, but I don't think it's my tape. Oh, anyways, I have more than one desk at home. I will get to the bottom of this time. I really like everything about this keyboard. I guess I don't notice the wobbling when I'm typing, so I guess it should be okay. But anyways, this is the new keyboard, and it has a braided cable. It uses the standard USB. I wish it uses micro USB at this point. Yeah, that would have been awesome. And protected USB port. I wish it uses micro USB. Other than that, I have nothing. Let me do some review of my pen. Pen or camera? Pen or camera? Okay. Let's do camera, because next week I can do pens. Alright, I'm going to put the keyboard aside, because it needs some setup. And so, one of the hobbies I have is photography. Not a cheap hobby and not an expensive hobby either, compared to many other things. So this is my workhorse camera. I have a bunch of other cameras, but I'll do one at a time. So this is a Canon 5D Mark III, 24 megapixel. If you guys are looking to buy one right now, you guys should look at the option. They have the R model, I think the S model. I have not paid attention because the two sort of refresh of the Mark III, I don't see as a sort of major advancement that Canon didn't either. Where else they would call it Mark IV, but I'm waiting for a Mark IV. On it right now is a 24 to 70 millimeter lens. I think this one's 2.8. The reason I call this as a workhorse camera is that it's weather sealed. Well, not like this, it's not, but it's weather sealed, so it's dust proof, moisture proof, sort of thing. So it doesn't matter what kind of environment you are in, this camera can sort of more rugged than a sort of non-professional camera, or I don't know how you say it, but a non-high-end camera will have, but that's sort of changing slowly. Another is this is a DSLR, so it's digital, so it has a mirror inside that does the shutter control. So the battery life on this camera is fantastic. I never had the need to recharge in the middle of a shoot. Maybe I don't shoot enough, but that could very well be the case. Memory slots on this, it's okay. I wish they didn't do this, but this camera is coming up 4 years old for me. I think they came out 2012. I'm not sure on the dates. So it has two slots. One is the compact flash. This is still preferred by the professionals, but they are very expensive. And the capacity for a higher ones, I think this one when I got it was like, I don't know, $80. That's dropping a little bit now, but this is a 1000X Lexar. A lot of companies don't make them anymore. Lexar is still one of the companies that makes them, and they're huge, but the transfer rate is a little better. And they also have an SD card. The problem with the SD card is, yes, you can use something like this. The one of the boxed 128 gigabyte. This is the gold one, the Extreme SanDisk. Don't try to go for the larger SD card, because when the one card failed, when using smaller card like a 32 gigabyte, you use like maybe 4 of them to achieve similar capacity to this 128 gigabyte. But when you have one card fail, you still have 3 other cards, so you only lose 25% of your photo. If this card fail, you pretty much lose everything. Even though this one supports 90 megabyte speed, the reader and writer in this camera does not support it. That's the 5D Mark III. Nikon, they support it. Canon does not. Old body. Even when it was released in 2012, 2013, it was not the latest SD card reader in this. CF card, I believe it was. So I wish it didn't do that. Since it's not a cheap camera. Retail on the body was like $3,000, and then the lens, this one I believe is $1,000 lens, a 24-70. I have also a 70 to 200 2.8, and then a 50 millimeter 1.2, and then I also got a I think it's about 24 to 105, the kit lens that came with it. That's f4. So the lens definitely exceeds the cost of the camera, but that's always the case. Battery life, fantastic. Autofocus, pretty fast, really fast. Used to be faster than any of my mirrorless cameras. Still faster than any of my mirrorless cameras. But Sony, the A6300 and the A7 R2, A7 Mark II series definitely has more autofocus points. This one has 41, I think, AF points. The Sony's A6300 has 400 autofocus points. It's just mind-boggling number. But so this one, I wish when the Mark IV comes out, if they can increase the autofocus point to significantly more, hopefully 200, that would be awesome. And if they can change the card reader to just using the SD card slot, 2 of them, and then have a faster standard support it, that would have been fantastic. And everything else I like about this camera. Weight wise, doesn't bother me. To me, it's like a workout because I don't work out much. But it's definitely a hefty camera, and it's great. I mean, it focuses. Low light focus is fantastic. You can attach a flash to it, obviously, and it's just a great camera. But I just wish Canon would up their camera body a little bit more faster in pace with other manufacturers like Nikon and Sony. But their lens, fantastic. I love their lens. But Canon 5D Mark III, this is my little review. If you are looking to photography right now, don't buy this new. I'll get a used one, like a 60 or 70, the smaller full frame, non-weather sealed. You'll be much easier. And then, to be honest, maybe you should try the APS-C sensors, or even go mirrorless, because the weight of everything adds up. It basically, if you don't use the camera because of the weight and your phone is lighter and always available, you're still going to take more pictures with your phone, which defeats the purpose of this camera. You should start with something smaller sensor. Smaller sensor uses smaller lens, cheaper, lighter, easier to carry. Might not get the full potential of the full frame sensor, but cost is a factor, right? And then if you buying into one system, mirrorless is different because you use different adapters. You are more likely to keep the same brand. Let's say you start with Nikon, you probably gonna keep with Nikon, and move up from the smaller sensor to full frame. Same thing with Canon. You can do that. Sony is an oddball because you can buy their lens and you can use the Metabone adapter and use this Canon lens. But anyways, so there's definitely very exciting with the photography market in terms of equipment wise. In terms of job wise, since I'm not a professional photographer, I'm not making a living on it. But from what I read, it's actually very hard to be a good, to be a profitable, I guess should be the right word, professional photographer, because so many people have cell phone with camera, and those cameras are getting better and better and better. And unless you can really show that you have some sort of personal style that's different, like actually have to be creative versus just documenting an event, people will be like, let's just say a wedding, there's 100 people, 100 cell phones, they're going to take more pictures than you do, and they're going to be all over the place, and there's going to be app allow them to share them, gather them all together, and then the bride and groom can be like, well, out of 100 guests, I ended up with 100 photos free, and they are really good now. iPhone camera, I don't really like it, but like Samsung Android phones, they actually have a half decent camera, and versus hiring a professional photographer at a cost of $5,000, and you get same 100 usable photo out of that deal, and you have to pay $5,000 versus free. That $5,000 better buys them something. I'm just saying it's much more competitive because everyone has a phone, has a camera in their pocket. Anyways, so this is a quick one just for the Canon 5D Mark III. I really love this body right here. I just wish that they would go ahead and release the Mark IV already, because I'm really want to upgrade and buy this. It's great. I don't think I dropped this once, so you can see it, the screen, everything is perfect. Just little fingerprint smudges, but so far, not a single problem with this camera. I guess I'll do a one pen, because I really. So one of the things that people always say about me is, I understand this is like a personal flaw or something, is like I always buy stuff that's expensive. Well, it's not like I buy stuff purely because of the price. It's just like a lot of times that expensive items are better quality or better styling. They're more unique. There's just sometimes I enjoy researching for before I make a purchase, but sometimes I just don't want to do that research. I'm just too lazy. I can't research about everything all the time. So one of the things you can do is buy the most expensive item you can afford, and you often will end up with better quality. Not 100%, just often, more likely than not. So, but pen, I still have a special pen coming. This, I finally got the model number correctly, because I'm always getting confused about this one. This is a Jinghao 159. It is a Chinese clone of the Mont Blanc 149, which is the pen that I want as well to collect. But this is the Chinese version. Mont Blanc goes for a brand new, I think, $600-700. Used one, you can get it for 400-ish, 149. So this Chinese one, I got it from Goulet at $10. You can get it on eBay for sometimes 99 cents with free shipping. I pay $10 or $12.50 for this, and I pay shipping. Definitely overpaid. So I'm gonna look at eBay next time. They ship straight from China. Quality control is not that great, but it has a similar cigar shape as the Mont Blanc 149. This one has a metallic body, so it weighs more. It does not have a gold nib. It has a steel nib. But other than that, I guess not other than that, but everything else is very similar in appearance. Overall dimensions and stuff, not the weight, not the material, not the craftsmanship, not the quality control, not all that. And like I said before, it is about a third of the cost of the Lamy All-Star. It is about a fifth the cost of the TWSBI VAC 700. But this is my new favorite pen. I love the nib size is the same. I think it's the number 6 nib, number 6. That's the TWSBI VAC 700. TWSBI, the vacuum filler, is I'm not sure about that. It's the ink. Either the pen is too dry for me. The ink flow is not as gushing out because it's an Asian pen. They usually have a wetter ink. And then also the nib is very thin. This is a medium. I wish I've gotten a broad for the VAC 700. This one is also a medium, but it writes much thicker. It's almost similar to a Lamy medium. So this has a European medium on it. Lamy is a German brand, so it's German. The European nib sizes usually are wider in the same category, right? So a medium European pen will be wider than a medium Asian pen. But Jinghao 159, no, they're more sort of European standards in terms of nib thickness. Super smooth, right amount of thickness is just the perfect thickness I want, which I hope, because the pen I got was a fine nib and it's a European size, so I hope it's somewhere there. There's no standards, and it's the perfect sort of size. I can even do one larger. I can even do one that's longer and bigger. So that gave me, for $10, I sort of understand that I can handle a heavier and bigger pen. I don't have big hands. I have very small hands. This is on Post-it, as you can see. It's a good size, and then I don't have a big hand. This is a cigar shape, so it's chubby. I write it like this. I hold it like so far back, even sometimes on the thread. Most times I'm on the thread like that. So you can see I like pen with big nibs, so which is good because my special pen coming that big nibs. So this is my new current favorite pen. The only complaint is the ink capacity. It uses a crappy they include crappy ones, but as you can see, there's a lot of space behind it. So I ordered a regular international converter, so that I can pop it in. That probably will give me like a 30% more ink capacity. Other than that, the ink flow is great. The nib is smooth. I think it's the smoothest nib I have of all the pens I have right now. Hopefully that won't be the case. I don't want to pay, my special pen coming. Hopefully we'll have a smoother nib. But ink flow is fantastic. It is a very wet writer. You can see the ink comes out, which is great because one thing I noticed is that with ink, if you use color that's not black, traditional black or blue black, sort of dark saturated ink, when you want to go with fancier ink color, for example, the one that has awesome shading, like the diamine burnt orange or the platinum mix-free earth brown. So these inks are fairly light. Not the brown in terms of color. It's a really good color, but it has shading, right? So the first pass you get through, you get a little light brown. Second pass, you get a dark brown. Third pass, if you press down on it, you can almost get like black. So the shading on this ink is fantastic. Same thing with the orange. You go from a light orange to a bright orange to red. So on a pen like this, which has a lot of ink coming out, you get that gradient with your writing. So almost make your sort of character that on page three-dimensional, because you can see, well, on nibs that has a good line variation, you can almost see the person that writes it, how much force they put down, which direction of the stroke, and how much ink is placed on it. So the ink with better shading adds another layer, right? Not just the line variation from thin to thick, but also ink go from light to dark. That makes writing awesome. You can see it. You can see the person, the way they write, and it's just, I don't know, that I really like that. I have terrible handwriting. So $10 pen, love it. Love this one. $30 pen, also love this one. $70 pen. But of these three that's currently inked up, I think I have the I want to say it's Diamese Terracotta in this. I have a Lamy Blue in this, and I have the Platinum Mix-Free Earth Brown in this. Color-wise, I think I'm going for these two. I ordered a bottle. I ordered a bottle of this, the Mix-Free Earth Brown. I have a bottle coming, Platinum. This one is Terracotta. It's too similar to the orange. It is a little more redder, browner, right? Reddish brown. Adds a little bit there, but I still have a little bit of sample. I haven't decided if I want to order one of these yet. The new ink, besides the Platinum mix-free Earth Brown is coming, I'm also very interested in a Visconti purple. I've seen that ink writing out. It just looks great. Fantastic look. And this one is, I think it's a Lamy Blue. I just want to try it, and I love this pen. So that's it for this week. I am going to sign off and finish my jerky. This one is pretty good. And I hope I'll see you guys next week. And thank you for watching. Please subscribe and comment, and I'll do my best to answer them. Thank you, and good night. Where's my cursor?